The type table can be divided into subsets of types that have one or more preferences or letters in common, and these subsets can be seen as a lens through which to view decision making, just as an optical lens helps us to focus our attention and see objects more clearly. This MBTI lens is going to help individuals to focus and clarify behavioral patterns. We have isolated the 4 distinct MBTI lenses, and they're divided into subsets which contain types having 2 preferences or letters in common. The 4 lenses are the functions, quadrants, temperaments, and the dominance lens. The function lens are represented by the vertical columns of the type table. In these tables, you have ST, sensing thinking, SF, sensing feeling, NF, intuition feeling, and T, intuition thinking. They correspond to a combination of the 2 functions, a preferred mode of taking in information, which would be sensing or intuition, and a preferred mode of evaluating the information, which is thinking or feeling. So our STs are practical, they're more matter of fact, in contrast to the SFs, which are sympathetic and friendly. NFs are enthusiastic and insightful, and NTs are logical and very ingenious. The quadrants lenses are found on the corners of the table in each quadrant, right? So you have the IS, which is the introverted sensor, the introverted intuition, IN, ES, the extroverted sensor, and EN, the extroverted intuition. And this corresponds to a combination of how they have a preferred attitude, their attitude being extrovert or introverted, and how they wish to take in information, which would be sensing or intuition. ISs are very reflective, but they're also very practical. In contrast, an IN is reflective and imaginative. ESs are energetic and practical, and ENs are energetic and imaginative. As we move on, the Temperaments lens is a combination of the 4 temperaments, which are SJ, SP, NF, and NT. This is going to be a combination of sensing and intuition and judging and preferences. We also have in here that the sensing and judgments are found in the 2 leftmost cells of the top row and the 2 leftmost cells of the bottom row. The SPs are found in the 2 leftmost cells of the second and third rows. The NFs and the NTs are found in the columns. So an SJ is responsible and loyal, an SP is clever, responsive, and NFs are imaginative and friendly, whereas NTs are rational and inventive. The dominance lens is a little more difficult within the groupings. You're going to notice that the sensing dominant personality is realistic and down to earth. An intuition dominant is perceptive and visionary. A thinking dominant is principled and very reliable. They are going to rely mostly on being fair, whereas a feeling dominant is very ethical and compassionate. I have highlighted these by certain colors, as you can see in the key on the corner or on the side. The groupings within the dominance lenses are defined in terms of what is the dominant function for the personality. And one of the ways to determine the dynamics of the type is to apply the 1-2 rule. In the first row of the table, the first function, either sensing or intuition, and that depends on the 4-letter type and what will be dominant. And in the second row of the table, the second function, which is going to be either thinking or feeling, which depends on the type. And that would be the dominant. In other words, row 1, function 1, row 2, function 2. In the third row, the first function is the dominant, and in the fourth row, the second function is the dominant.